Okay, so some recent messages. You have to check in with your vibration to see if you are a match for what you want. If you hold yourself outside of the frequency of that which you want, but you're just chasing it, it's going to run like a dog. You do not chase, you attract. So pull your energy back and check in and see if you are a vibrational match. For example, if you have what you want right now, whatever that is, could be, New Earth, could be your own stuff. In the meantime, could be, a way of life, peace, abundance, whatever it is. How are you going to feel when that happens? And do you feel that way now? Because if you hold yourself out of alignment in discord and strife and guilt and upset and depression, anxiety, you're not a vibrational match. Think of it like water. I know many of you have seen the experiment that they would take glasses of water and then play music or speak words. And they did this with positive and they did this with negative. So negative feelings, negative words, and it went into the water and it created certain geometric shapes that were if it was negative, it was all frazzled and scrambled. That was the frequency of the water. When they said something good, spoke something good to the water, or played nice music, calming music to the water, it would get into very geometrical, specific shapes, very organized. If you are 75% water, what do you think that does to your frequency when you're super negative, depressed, anxious, fearful? And you must be a vibrational match for that which you want. So if you're down here vibrationally and what you want, you're going to feel a certain way. Up here, it's all frequency. That's why listen to good things, do good things, spend some time in it, because you are mostly made of water. And if you are speaking negative things, saying negative, I understand we have challenges, I understand we're purging the collective stuff, I understand all that. But your overall dominant frequency, your attention, where is your attention going? Because what you think about most, where your attention goes the most, is what you're going to manifest physically outside of you. That will become your vibrational match. Now, everything that you see now is just a product of what you believed yesterday, your frequency yesterday, or in recent time. You can change it at any time. You can spend 3 minutes shifting your frequency and then get into a receiving mode, get into attracting mode, get into, how am I going to feel when? And spend some time in that so you can rearrange the geometry in your body, the chemicals in your body, the water in your body. You can rearrange your frequency to match not only who you truly are, but what you truly should have. If you're a mismatch, it's when you're manifesting, I call it actualizing because it's your power. You in your power to create. You are creators. And when you're doing this, you have to spend some time in it. But you also have to be in a receiving mode. It can't be a pushing out, because that's an opposing frequency. You walk toward it, you aim toward it, you focus on it, but it's not out there somewhere. You're looking from the place that you have actualized. So you would, like I always give the job example, back when I had jobs. If I wanted one, then at the interview, I would look around and visualize myself in the kitchen making coffee, in the, at my cubicle, at my desk with the pictures up. I visualize that I already very happily and feeling relief and calmness and peace and, a good feeling. If I wanted the job, that's what I did. And so I'd focus on being there already. So while the person's talking, I'm listening, but I'm also putting myself already there, already got it, already have this job. And it worked every single time. Every time. Because that is universal law. It has to work. It has to show up. Because you are a magnet and you will attract, not chase. Because when you chase, you are telling the universe you don't have it yet. And when you tell the universe you don't have it, it just keeps saying, okay, you don't have it. And I will validate that in your physical life, that you still don't have it. This isn't some complicated thing. The rub is that you have to actually take time to do it. That's what God gets on me about. You have to take the time to do. You got to time out everything else and actually spend some time on this, put some effort into it. So it would be like taking a peaceful break, or before bed, before a nap, before meditation, during meditation. Now, I know we're all waiting. I don't want anybody waiting, okay? I want you to, this is another part of the message, is I want you to take everything that you have resistance with and let it go. I want you to put it at God's feet. Because when we get into the human part of it, of when's it going to happen, I can't do this anymore, and I can't, and we all have those moments, because you have to purge that out of your body, okay? It's not to say never do it. I think that's a hawk up there. It's not to say, you know, you have to purge these things out. They're like little storms in your body that need to go, because we're absorbing for the collective and the land and all kinds of stuff, okay? So it's like you take in, you know, with the sponge and purge. So it's like you take in, you purge, you take in, you purge, and that's a constant. That's why we do spiritual maintenance. Like, no, get out. This land is millions of years old, and people are going through stuff, the collective. I don't call the volunteers the collective. That is not the same. The collective is who we volunteered to come and help and teach all this to. But if you're trying to move through something, you need to have some quiet time with yourself to shift into radical acceptance. It's not accepting that things are terrible, or accepting awful circumstances or subpar things that aren't really your equal or better. It's not that. It's letting go and dumping resistance. Any way you can dump resistance to attachments, to being attached to outcomes, being attached to gotta have it my way on my time frame. That's another thing with time, like release the need for whatever around time frames. Time is a construct. We need to come above that into, like, you know, outside of time and space. That's how you operate at a higher level. That's when you actualize very quickly. So it's not blow off everything as far as time. We still have things we have to do. I'm saying don't hold on so much to it that you are focused on slowing everything down, because you have certain time frames for things. God's ways are not our ways. Okay, you have to leave a lot of room for God to do what he thinks is higher, better. Okay, there's 20 solutions to every problem, but if you're stuck on how it has to be, there's no flexibility for God to make adjustments. Chances are what you're supposed to have is much bigger and much better than you're even aware of or could even comprehend. So there's been messages, especially the last couple of days in this past week, get out of my way. You are doing my work. You are getting in the way. You're asking me for help. You're praying to me, but you're not receiving. You're not accepting, and you're not trusting. If you're in fear, you are not trusting God. Shift back into trust. Dump it all. Put it all at God's feet. I trust you. You are co-creating in a partnership, and you have this light coming through you. Some of it's for you, for, you know, in the meantime, for things you want. There are reasons why you want what you want, though. That is put there by God. And if it's in God's alignment, then it will be given to you, if as a volunteer. God doesn't want you broke and sick and destitute and begging. That's the opposite of the energy you need to be in. Now, is this a really tough period of time, especially for the volunteer? Yes, for certain volunteers, and a lot of people are tired. A lot of energy workers are very tired. And we are a net, and we are a network, and we all try to help each other in ways that, whatever ways we can. So dump the resistance, dump the attachments. You don't have to get rid of all kinds of stuff, but you may feel like another wave purge of, tonight's the full moon, I guess, but you may feel another wave of releasing things. I gotta clean, I gotta declutter, I gotta, like, get things up to speed type of thing. But think of it this way: how can you hold on to 3D feelings or attachments to the material world and resonate with fifth density energy, which is outside of time and space, which is, you know, you would have to trust, you would have to co-create, you would have to be in alignment with this light. You couldn't be in fear and doubt and work. That's all 3D world, right? Think about what you're resonating with and make whatever changes you have to trust that you are always taken care of, always protected, always loved by God, and that you are creating this together. The inspirations that you get is the light coming through you, and the light is meant to be shared. But you harness, you know, enough for yourself and what you want for yourself, but it's ultimately meant to be shared. So it's working through you and clearing out anything in the way of that light. So let whatever it is go. The patterns, the traumas, the attachments, dump it, so you can be fully aligned in this light and work on your frequency just like water. Love you till the next one.